High, and I'm the founder and co-director of Bully Police USA. Well, in the simplest terms, we're advocates for kids who are being bullied at school. We start by educating lawmakers in each state about the need for common sense anti-bullying laws, and then we work with school districts to help them understand the need for good, solid policies so that they have direction on what to do with children who are being bullied as well as the bully. Well, it kind of started back in 1998 when my son Jared was bullied at school, and he'd been the victim of older kids bullying him while he was the coach's assistant at his softball or baseball team. And the kids that were bullying him were 2 years older in most cases. He was a sixth grader. Jared was a sixth grader, and the boys that were bullying him were eighth graders. And as a result, one of the bullies, a chronic bully, followed Jared into the gym at the very last of the season and literally beat the tar out of him. So Jared got to the doctor, went to the chiropractor, and he had some emotional injuries as well as physical injuries, but we didn't know it was called depression that he had developed. And during the summer, he became extremely violent. Well, he'd be one day he'd be fine, but other days he'd just be really down. And he developed that during the summer, and we decided to put him in another school district. And we thought everything was fine. We relaxed, and 3 weeks later, Jared refused to go to school. And then he called my husband at work and said, Dad, I just called to say goodbye. And then he shot himself while he was on the phone with my husband. And our lives immediately changed. The police officers that morning asked, why would Jared do such a thing? And I said to the policeman, well, he's never been the same since he was beat up at school. And they asked the name of the bully, and one of them had actually done a report that we had done with the police department. And we told them the name of the bully, and they all go like, yeah, we know him. He was chronic. So anyway, we had been looking for an attorney before Jared died for violation of Jared's civil rights, and hadn't been successful at that point, but we did find an attorney to take on the case of Jared as a wrongful death lawsuit. So at that point, we did depositions. Our attorneys did depositions, and during the depositions, we found that there were no policies, no procedures, no direction at all for educators and teachers to deal with bullying. And so at that time, they had actually been discussing an anti-bullying law in the state of Washington. So I went and talked to the lawmakers, and I testified at the Education Committee in the state of Washington, and they passed it out of committee and and passed it in House and Senate, and the governor signed it, and so we had an anti-bullying law in Washington state. At that time, then, I started getting phone calls from other parents all over the country saying, we want, an anti-bullying law passed. How did you do it? So that's how Bully Police USA got started. We incorporated in November of 2003, and it's just steadily grown. We're all volunteer. Nobody is paid in our organization. We don't even really go after any donations. We're just passionate parents that want to make a difference and want to communicate with lawmakers, parents, teachers, just anybody that will listen about getting rules and procedures to abide by. I learned a lot about what happened from the experiences of what happened to Jared. Mostly I learned that kids